Hi, beautiful people, and welcome to a new episode of my podcast, From Darkness to Light. I'm going to begin with a disclaimer and say to everyone who's new to my channel and what I voice here, what I say is my own opinions, is my own beliefs. So don't attach them to anything that I'm an expert or, that I'm a doctor or that I have some deep knowledge of anything, because I'm sharing my opinions and my beliefs here. Okay, today I want to share what I believe is the long-term solution or the long-term sustainable way to handle COVID. Okay. To me, and this is my belief, if we look at the risk groups, who are in the risk groups, we can see it's quite easy to draw a line between lifestyle, health issues, and being part of a risk group. There are many different medical conditions, but many of them come from habits that are not healthy and good for us. When it comes to obesity, when it comes to heart and I don't know what it's called in English, veins, or those kind of diseases, kidney failures and disease, and liver cirrhosis, and obesity, I think I said diabetes. Many of them, except age, are actually due to lifestyle health issues. And there is no guilt, there is no blame. It's just like a big, big, big compassion towards all of us who suffer from either, physical health or mental health issues. It's just so I have a whole table of props here. I feel totally excited about that. I'm going to bring up a book. It's called When the Body Says No. My favorite person, Dr. Gabor Mate. In this book, he really digs deep into exploring the stress-disease connection. And that so many of our, diseases come from stress. And stress, what it does to us is that it suppresses our natural immune system. So what's happening right now, what's going on right now in all this world of fear and polarization and yes or no, do's or don't, losing job, losing houses, losing income, losing health, everything. It's such a stressful situation. And what stress does to us, it suppresses our immune system. And I think it affects us all right now. And what's so important is to just acknowledge this. Humanity is under a lot of pressure at the moment. We are super stressed as a collective. What can we do then? The short-term solution, as all of us know, is to have the vaccine. That is, as I see it, not going to save us in the long-term perspective. To me, it's so important to have a healthy immune system that I can tackle not only disease, virus, things that come to me, but also that I can handle life. When it comes to pain, things that happens to me and that brings me pain, how can I handle that? If my immune system is super low, I'm going to go down both mentally and physically. So what to do? And I'm going to bring up, I think one of the first things that affects us is sleep. To not sleep well at night there's so much that comes from that. To not sleep well at night, that is stressful in itself. So it's so important to look into, okay, why don't I sleep? Am I becoming depressed, for example? Um, when my sleeping habits are changing, it may be depression. And so many are affected right now. It's so important to sleep. And the things you can do to help to have better sleep, just do it. There's so many resources online, but sleep is so important, not only to our mental health, but also to our physical health, because all the organs inside and the brain is actually restoring, resetting, repairing a lot while we are sleeping. So it's crucial that we sleep. Okay. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is exercise. The way we sit, work indoors with computers, we are on our cell phones all the time. We need to bring this on, and just go out, walk. Preferably in nature, if not, do it in the city, but take a long walk every day. If you like to run, run. I would strongly suggest that you walk outdoors or run outdoors instead of going to the gym if you can, at least now in this period. To be outdoors is really, we need the air, go hug a tree. To hug a tree is actually to sit in the forest. It actually helps our immune system. It reduces stress. That is proven. There is a documentary in Japan. They have I think 67 forest baths, sanctuaries that I have arranged. So go out, hug a tree, because when you hug a tree, it gives you something that reduces your stress level, improves your immune system. Outdoors, hug a tree, exercise, sleep. So, so, so important. I'm going to come to the next thing that I do. It's supplements. Food, to eat well, is crucial. And I think it's also crucial to take supplements, because when we are stressed, our bodies are affected and we may not be able to process the food that we could if we weren't stressed. So to take supplements, and I take every day, I take multivitamins, multiminerals, I take something called MSM. I don't really know why I take it, I just like it. And then I take omega, like the fats. I take magnesium. Since COVID began, I take zinc also, because that's a recommendation. I take vitamin C. I also take something called Q10. And I think it doesn't really matter what you take. I would suggest multivitamin, multimineral, and vitamin C. Zinc also, if you have a COVID fear. Okay. But sleep, so important. And when it comes to then what we eat, I eat healthy most of the time, and then eventually I just dig into one of these, and the day after I have the result. I feel super low, my mood is much lower, I have a sugar crush, it just goes boom into my brain. My body can't repair it, because I always eat this late at night, around 8 p.m. or something, together with a movie, together with some chips also. And that's okay eventually, every now and then. It's not okay for a daily routine. It's so stressful for the body to digest crap, to feel that if you want to support your immune system, you need to work on your diet, you need to work on your sleep, you need to work and exercise. And why do we do this? Because it makes us happier. It makes us more peaceful, calmer, less stressed. Anything we can do that supports our system, that reduces stress, that reduces anxiety. Because anxiety, do you know what that drives? Addictions. I would say that we all have underlying traumas. I think many of us are re-traumatized now with COVID. We are super scared. We're not welcome. We are scared we're going to catch it. We're scared we're going to die, you know. And this disconnect, the trauma is the disconnect. It's not what happened to us. It's the disconnection that happens because of what happened to us. So I think we're all in like a major disconnect right now. And it's so important that the anxiety level that is elevating, that we kind of keep it down. And to go into, like, for example, you know, food, eating or drinking or doing drugs or, you know, any other addiction, it induces stress and it suppresses our immune system. So anything that gives you more stress, you can easily say that like this, okay, anything that relieves you from stress is good for you. Anything that increases stress for you is not perfect for you at the moment. It's not perfect in the long term. It's not perfect in the short term. So we are going to work to reduce stress in our lives. And that means, what kind of stressors do we have? We have stressors in form of maybe relationships, when it comes to financial issues, when it comes to maybe, you know, eating habits that we know we are unhealthy. We need to lose weight, for example, to not become sick and so on. There's so much that is stressing us. The fear of catching COVID, the fear of the vaccination, the pressure of being an outcast. There's so much. And it's really like, hey, how can I reduce stress in my life? How can I really feel better, be better, you know, live better, take better care? And for me, one thing, I've been in this video editing course now. I'm so bad at sitting with the computer. So I need to have, and this is like inside this little pouch, I have my TENS machine. It's like, oh, I just realized that those of you who listen to this podcast, you don't see the video. Okay, interesting. So the first thing I did was that I put on a sleep mask when I talked about sleep. And now I pulled up a pouch, and inside that little beautiful pouch, I have my TENS machine. So I've been using my TENS machine now for a couple of weeks because my body says no. It just says no, don't sit by the computer. And then I showed a jar of ice cream. I also showed a glass, a wine glass. So sorry, I just like swapped media. So now I'm doing videos, and I forgot that I'm not showing you what I bring out. I also brought out the what do you say, a can of supplements. My book that I wrote, it addresses a lot of stressors and what we can do. And to me, it's also known that disease in itself, and ache, pain in itself, it really, you know, it causes stress, it causes anxiety. To live with chronic pain is really stressful, it's really difficult. And I feel that if you need medicine, at times I take medicine, you know, for my arthritis, and I have no judgment around that. I just need to do that because it's good for me. It's not good for me to live with pain. It's good for me to be pain-free. So I combine my more holistic lifestyle with a few totally 100% medical advice. for example, my arthritis medicine. And the book that I addressed before, When the Body Says No, by Gabor Mate, he has an amazing book right now. Right now, it's been out for a few years. It's about ADHD, and it's called Scattered Minds. I recommend this to everyone, because it's so much about trauma and stress. It's actually addressing the ADD and ADHD, but it's so good for everyone to read. And for me, the long-term solution to COVID is really to take care of our general health, to scan, how am I, how stressed am I, how fearful am I, do I sleep at night? Do I give my body the opportunity to repair and restore and recharge itself when I'm sleeping? Am I stressful during the day? Am I full of aggression and frustration? That's also a sign of depression, And these days, to do things that go against, what our body says, to me, the long-term solution to COVID is actually to improve our health. To, if we are in a risk group, try to get out of that risk group. How can you work your way out of that risk group? And I think there are so many, if you are in a risk group, there's a reason for it. And that's nothing anyone can judge you for. Most likely, something traumatic has happened in your past, and there's a reason why we drink too much, why we eat too much, why we don't exercise, why we are depressed, and so on. There's no judgment around that. But for your health and your life to change and to cope with life, because COVID is a part of life and it's most likely going to stay here, and to not be fearful is really, really good to reduce stress, care more for ourselves, improve our immune system, and look at what areas in my life is not functioning in a good way. Where am I creating a hindrance for my health? Where am I exposing myself to this virus by elevating my stress level? So to me, I care for myself every day. I have my long, peaceful breakfast. I don't compromise on them. I light a candle. I have many candles here. Plants for me is super important. I always plant a new seed. This is a little seedling I have. I watch them grow. I care for them. It's super green. My whole area here is super green. I love beauty. I love things beautiful. And I brought up, like, this is a ring from my mom's that I really totally adore. So there are things that brings me joy. I've always been like a soft toy addict. My kids, they have received hundreds of soft toys each. And during these times, do you know what? Not only do I have Charlie sleeping with me, but I also sleep with this little guy. There is something, with when I wake up at night and I feel my hands, they're like, and then they find him, this little elephant, soft and cuddly elephant, and I just take him and I sleep with him. It brings me comfort. If I wake up at night, maybe it's a stress alert. Maybe it's like I'm processing something from the day, and to just touch my hands on this little soft guy it calms me down. So I do a lot of things to calm down my nervous system. I think this is the long-term solution to live well, to have a body that functions with a good immune system so we can handle the virus. If it hits me, I had COVID. I don't know if I catch it again, if I will have the same mild, COVID, or if it will be worse. I don't know if it's going to hit my lungs or something, but I'm going to live so well that hopefully I can manage. And I think that my immune system, if I build it, if I restore it at night, if I really work on it, if I reduce stress, if I add more comfort in my life, like comfort food for me, hot chocolate and this lussebullar, Swedish Christmas buns, is always a comfort for me. A soft toy is always a comfort. Plants are healing, nature is healing. My dogs, of course, are healing. Hugs are healing. And I feel really that this is the long-term solution to work on our stress level, to work on our anxiety levels, and to make sure that we eat well, sleep well, exercise, that we take good care. And to me, this is like the alert from COVID. Hello, hello, humanity. Hello, hello. You're not taking the best care of yourself. Okay? Can you please be more kind? Can you please love yourself more? I think to me that's the general message. And for some of you, you may feel like, oh, she's just like a stupid new age kind of old lady in Sweden. But to me, this is the truth. I really want to handle life. I've lived my life in such a way that when life hit me, I couldn't handle it. And it was more mentally, but it's also physical. My arthritis, it's inflammatory. It comes from inflammation in the body. And when my inflammation level is high in the body, my joints are affected, and it's genetical, but it's also a lifestyle thing. And I'm trying to really keep my inflammatory levels low, and I do it with sleep. I sleep 7 to 8 hours every night. I eat well. I don't eat much sugar. I don't drink alcohol, and so on. And exercise. I also believe that exercise keeps this level down. And I think that the immune system, I read a book, and it's actually connected to depression. So it's so important that we do what we can these times, more than ever. Of course, when it comes to COVID, I'm bringing up the mask. This site, I read yesterday that it affects children a lot. Their capacity to learn and to get message, and their behavior, which is scary. It is scary what's happening to our children. I think this is one thing, that they can't read our expressions, and there is something hostile with the mask as we see it with our eyes. Therefore, I love being outdoors, because outdoors connections feels safer like that, and we can see each other. But I'm all for taking precaution. So when I go to the store, when I go to crowds where I don't feel like, safe, I'm not particularly scared for my own safety, but I don't want to give COVID to anyone else either. So for me to keep distance, to keep washing my hands, to use a mask, to not gather in big crowds. And there is so much that I think it's, unfortunately, I think we need to keep doing this for quite a while. Um, a friend of mine said the other day, he said that I think actually it's good. I don't like to hug everyone. I don't like to hug everyone either. I like to hug all the people I love. I I love people very much, so I hug people. I have a strange thing, like the ones I love, I feel safe with them, and acquaintances, like when you come to a meeting, someone you work with and so on. No, we don't need to hug. We don't need to shake hands. It's really like we don't know each other. And I think many of us has stepped over our boundary, that we don't really enjoy shaking hands, hugging everyone, and so on. So I think that now is a good time also to feel into your yes and no. Do I want to be close to this person? Do I want to keep my space? And I think we have a natural intuition actually for when we are safe, not only when it comes to COVID, but also when it comes to our energy. I think our intuition and our energy says a lot to us. At least my intuition is talking all the time, is very loud. It's like, can you see when I laugh? I don't know, those of you who watched the video, most likely you've been thinking, what happened? What happened to Shama's upper lip? And it's like you can see it as a natural filler, but it's actually a dog. Yesterday I was hugging with Sam, and I was like lying with my face on top of his head. And then Maya shouted from the kitchen, and Sam, he just up took his head up and he smashed my lip. So yesterday it was like bleeding, and it was much bigger than it is now. But it looks like a natural filler except for the blue part. Okay, anyways, cuddle yourself, take care of yourself. And to me, to just work with candles, soft toys, um, sleeping, reading books, having a nice cup of tea. It's like, okay, Shama, is this the solution for COVID? How stupid are you? No, I can't solve the virus. I can't. But I can take good care of me so I can handle the virus. I can make, my immune system much stronger. And I think sleep is crucial. What we eat is crucial. Exercise is crucial. Being out in nature, hanging out with plants and trees and hugging trees, watching the ocean, just being outdoors. I think it's more important now than ever. So I think to sit at home and be isolated is not perfect. We need to actually touch eyes with human beings living, passing, say hi when you pass someone. That's the benefit of having dogs. You always meet people, you always connect, and the dogs, they, sniff each other and we talk. So it's a really good thing. Touch what your hands touch. This sweater I have right now is a fleece kind of thingy. It's super cozy. You just want to hug me. And so I touch, a lot of textures right now that I find healing. Sheepskin, the doggies, my soft toys, a nice sweater or something. Supplements, super important. I don't know how well you eat, but unless you eat super healthy, especially now with the winter and so on, supplements are important. Vitamin D also, I've heard, especially in the countries like I am in, Sweden, where we have very almost no sun at all right now. And then when it comes to addictions, our addictive behavior, I think also, I have a feeling, I don't know what you think, but I have a feeling that our digital devices, that they suppress my immune system, that maybe it's because they increase my stress level, but I really feel that the radiation, it does something to me. It cuts me off, definitely. It stresses me also, my fingers, my hands, to text and do things, So to put away the phone. I think the long-term solution to fight COVID is actually to beat it by becoming super healthy. It's like, okay, we're going to hit by this, but I can handle it. And those of you who are addicted to a substance or behavior, I think right now is the perfect time to join a 12-step program. To really take help with that, and to have the biggest compassion and empathy to why you are using or doing what you do. You have a reason, for sure. You have a reason. We all have. But it's so negative for us because we feel so bad about ourselves. So it's a vicious circle that is really, really important to come out of. And you are worth it, just as I am worth it. We are worth really, really good lives without fear, without anxiety, without stress. And it's a big opportunity to work on our traumas, to work on our healings, to give up addiction, and to say that I'm going to fight COVID. And maybe you take the vaccine too, maybe you don't. Whatever you do of these two options, it doesn't matter. To have a really good, healthy immune system is important. And I think today is the day to start changing what we need to change so we can handle life as life comes to us. Today it's COVID, tomorrow, who knows? Our mom might die, or we lose the job, or we get, we break a leg, or our dog dies, whatever. Things happen all the time in our lives because this is life. Good things happen also. And you know what? The less stress we feel, the better our immune system is working, the more positive we are, the more good things are happening in our life, because our vibe, actually, our vibrational level, both when it comes to health, emotional health, physical health, mental health, it attracts things. You know that when something bad is happening, then something else that is really bad happening, and then a third thing comes. And that I find is true. And it's also the opposite is also true, that the more good things that are happening, the more good things come. To me, if I get a fun job request and I'm like, wow, this is so nice, then tomorrow another job request comes. Or I'm invited to this breakfast and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I wonder. But now I no longer wonder. And if nothing happens, if it's very slow, if it's very dull, if I feel extremely bored, I still do one good thing at a time, one day at a time. And I sleep with this little guy, and I drink my tea, and so on. Charlie, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi to Charlie? Shall I get in? Charlie. He doesn't want to. And you know what? I'm not going to force him, because Charlie has his own stress level. He has his own pace. and I enjoy him in his pace. So he's lying now, sleeping. Okay, is there something I've forgotten? You can just DM me. You can share your ideas, what you feel is important to you. If you have any sharings that you want to, tell other people, this is my suggestion, this is what I do when I feel fearful, or this is my way. There are so many remedies and so many ways, but I think that COVID is really saying to us, take better care. That is more or less, and reduce stress, because a lot of stress does a lot of damage to us. Okay, and I'm so sorry for those of you listening that if I failed in the beginning to, when I pulled up my props, if I failed to tell you what I was wearing or doing. And yeah, I look forward to hang out with you in like this soon again. And you are welcome to DM me, and take really, really good care of yourself, and take really, really good care of your friends and your families and your neighbors and the people you don't know. When you meet someone in the street, you can say hi. I see that whenever I laugh, I look a little crazy, and that's okay. Okay, I love you guys. Take good, good, good care. Puss.